everybody. Hello everybody, and welcome to, of course, you've got it in one foul sweep here, and we are talking in living colour here, wherever possible here.
Of course, you don't need me to be bellowing out, of course, any louder than this. Of course, I don't know where that, of course, other enhanced sound comes from, but of course, welcome along to the channel. If you are just switching on here, absolutely brilliant here, and of course, really do appreciate your time here. And of course, we are live and loud in living colour here. I actually forgot to do the, of course, word for today. Oh, how amazing is that? So of course, I'm gonna have to do some of it here. Hello. But of course, that video is to come up very, very soon. So I don't know if we can hear a little bit of that. I'm gonna sort of play it very, very quietly because you don't want it to be heard over the top of my music here. And of course, yes. There you go. I'll go back to me now, and of course, hopefully you can hear the music in the background here, wherever possible here.
Hello and welcome to Easttown Park. Please do speak, Dylan.
Okay, Easttown Park will be coming up very, very soon, so please do stay with us here. And of course, I've got to try and get my media sorted out here. If I can, let's have a look at the media. Look at the properties. No, it's not that one. It's another one here. Capture. That's the one.
There you go. So there you go. You can actually now hear me, and of course we should be able to get something in the background now. There we go. Let's play it. There you go. Of course, that's a little bit better, isn't it? Let's knock my camera a little bit back here. It's getting used to this little system here. I'm trying to be in the middle there. Anyway, of course, welcome along to the word for today here, which is what I'm going to read to you now. I'm hoping to get a background for you guys out there. I don't know what background I can use here. What can I use, eh? Okay, nothing at the moment. Nothing coming up at the moment. Turn that off. Right, okay.
Right, welcome along. Right, okay. I don't know whether I can actually play that in the background whilst that is talking here. Welcome to the topic show anyway. Perhaps I'll do it without the music here because it really is annoying when, of course, I can't really put the music on at the same time. So, it is quite annoying here. Right, okay, I'm just going to talk as I go here. Okay, it is the sweet chill of music in the background here. So, God is working in you, by the way, and with you and through you. That I myself may be in them. Just before he was arrested and taken to the cross, Jesus prayed this: Father, I have made you known to them, and I will continue to make you known in order that the love you have for me may be in them, and that I myself may be in them. And it is this scenario here when it comes to recognizing and responding to God's presence in our lives. Christian author John Ortberg says this: he lives by these 12 truths. Okay, these 12 truths are coming up right now. 1, God is always present and active in my life, whether or not I see him. And number 2, coming to recognize and experience God's presence is learned behaviour. I can cultivate it. And number 3, my task is to meet God in this movement. Sorry, monument. No, actually, I pronounced it wrong here, so I do apologise about that. Coming to recognise and experience God's presence is learned by behaviour. I can cultivate it. And number 3, my task is to meet God in this moment. Okay, and number 4, I'm always tempted to live outside this moment. And when I do that, I lose my sense of God's presence. And number 5, sometimes God seems far away for reasons I don't understand. Those moments too are opportunities to actually learn. And number 6, whenever I fail, I can always start again right away. And number 7, no one knows the full extent to which a human being can experience God's presence. And number 8, my desire for God ebbs and flows, but His desire for me is consistent. Sorry, not consistent, constant. So yeah, but His desire for me is constant. Number 9, every thought carries a spiritual change that moves me a little closer or a little further from God. And number 10, every aspect of my life, work, relationships, hobbies and errands is of interest of God. And number 11, my path is to experiencing of interest to God. So, yeah, sorry, I read the wrong bit. I don't know what's going wrong with me today. See, again, of course, it's all part of it here. And even when I fail, I can always start again right away, which is what this live is all about here. So, number 11, my path to experiencing God's presence will not look quite like someone else's. Number 12, straining and trying too hard not to help itself. So God, sorry, still can't get these words right today. What is going wrong with me today? So the word for today is God is working in you, with you, and through you. Okay? Do you want me to read it all again? Yeah, second time round you might understand it better. So of course what God is doing is working in you, with you and through you, and the subheadline is I myself may be them, or that my, see I can't still read it, can I? Of course that I myself may be in them. Okay, of course, it depends on the time of night here. Maybe it's a little bit late for me, but anyway, of course, I will read it again just for perfection reasons here. Just before he was arrested and taken to the cross, Jesus prayed this: Father, I have made you known to them, and will continue to make you known, in order that the love you have for me may be in them, and that I myself may be in them. And when it comes to recognising and responding to God's presence in our lives, okay, Christian author John Ortherberg says he lives by these 12 truths. Okay, I'll repeat them once more, just in case you didn't hear earlier. 1, God is always present and active in my life, whether or not I see Him. And number 2, coming to recognise and experience God's presence is learned by behaviour. I can cultivate it. And number 3, my task is to meet God in this moment. And number 4, I'm always tempted to live outside this moment, and when I do that, I lose my sense of God's presence. And number 5, sometimes God seems far away for reasons I don't actually understand. Those moments too are opportunities to learn. And number 6, which I've done a lot of times today, whenever I fail, I can always start again at the right way, of course. And of course, I can always start again right away. And number 7, no one knows the full extent to which a human being can experience God's presence. And number 8, my desire for God's ebbs and flows, but His desire for me is constant. And number 9, every thought carries a spiritual change that moves me a little closer or a little further from God. And number 10,
Every aspect of my life, work, relationships, hobbies and arounds, is of interest to God. And number 11, my path to experiencing God's presence will not look quite like someone else's. That's interesting there. And number 12, straining and trying too hard not to help. So the word for today is, God is working with you, in you, and through you. I think it's the other way around actually. But of course, that's God is working in you, with you, and through you. That I myself may be in them. That's the subheadline of that particular word for today. I'm going to actually do another one here for you, see if I can read it a lot better than I normally can. So I do apologise if I'm going wrong here at any one point here. So I'm hoping that I can actually put this in the background here. So, I might have to just repeat the song several times here. So, of course, Christ can satisfy our soul. And her subheadline is, give me this water that I may not thirst. Okay, of course, she lived in Samaria, had been married 5 times, and was now living with a man who was not her husband. Maybe gossiper waged their tongues about her. How else would you explain her midday experience at the well? Other women fill their buckets at sunrise, but this woman opted for noon, preferring the heat of the sun over the heat of the scorn. Were it not for the appearance of a stranger, a story would have been lost in the Samaritan sands. Okay, we repeat the music again. Okay, and of course, it goes on to say, but he entered her life with a promise of living water that would quench the thirst of her soul. Yes, her soul. He wasn't put off by her past. He told her, whoever drinks of this water will thirst again. But whoever drinks of the water that I shall give him will never thirst. But the water that I shall give him will become in him in a fountain of water springing up into everlasting life. The woman said to him, Sir, give me this water that I may not thirst. The woman left her water pot, or then left her water pot, went to her way into the city. Okay. So the woman then left her water pot, went her way into the city, and then said to the men, Come and see a man who told me all the things that I did. Could this be the Christ? Then they went out of the city and came to him, and many of the Samaritans of that city believed in him because of the word of the woman who testified. He told me all that I ever did. No one else was willing to give her a chance, but Jesus gave her a chance of a lifetime. And what he did for her, he would do for you. And that's the end of the word for today here. Sorry about, of course, the background music having to, of course, rerun itself a lot of times. And I'm back here. And I'm frozen as well. You should still hear my voice, but of course we've got an issue with the webcams, and of course we'll go back here and of course sort it all out. So we are back in one foul sweep here. Thank you very much indeed for watching. If you're watching on replay, massive hello to you. Come and say hello in the chat here. We really do appreciate that. We've sorted it out now, so that is fantastic. We've had 4 views here, at least at 1 minute and 34. That's better than nothing, even if it is live here. So how long have we been going on for? Of course, it should tell me the time here.
15 minutes on the clock here. We will do another word for today here. And, of course, we have been discovering Brandon Country Park, which we did on the other show, which was on our TikTok channel here. Do check that out if you are not already. And we really do appreciate your time doing that. If you have any questions whatsoever, of course, during our lives or on the replay, please do leave us a comment down below. And we will, by all means, get back to you as soon as possible in a constructive way. We want to keep it as a friendly kind of community. Nobody wants to do all the trolling, and of course we don't get too involved in the mainstream politics, but local level we may do. Just may, okay? And we'll be here until, of course, midnight here, so I've got another half hour or so to go. But, of course, yes. I'm actually looking for my remote control of my camera at the moment, and unfortunately I don't have that with me. But, of course, I will play you a video in just a moment of our pilot of a football match. Not a football match, what am I talking about? Of course, a football-style show that we may cater for TikTok and YouTube. So, either way, of course, we may be able to, of course, do the shows on both channels. But, yeah, I want to wrap up the YouTube here and keep you up to date with what's going on here. And there has been some highlights on the Say It Out Loud channel here. So if you want to check that out, all the, of course, videos that we have done on there, feel free to do so at any one time. We really do appreciate that. If you're watching the captions, otherwise known as subtitles, we appreciate you watching them across the screen here. I'm getting all sorts of flies around the studio here, moths and whatever you like to call it. But yeah, I was actually talking on the other channel here to further this show on TikTok. Of course, we're doing the extension version here, which is extra version, extra bonus for you lot out there. So please come and support the channel. We need as many people. We need, of course, some more mods in due course. So, of course, if you know of anyone that would like to be a mod here on this channel here, get to know us here and support the channel here. We really do appreciate that wherever you are watching. So, as I say, the show's usually about an hour, and we talk about all sorts of local level kind of stuff here. And there's so much that we can talk about. We haven't really got all the time to talk about everything. But, of course, yeah, discovering Brandon Country Park visitor guide and trails here. Discover the heart of the Brecks at Brandon Country Park. And explore a land of open heathland, green forests, wide horizons, and fresh air. So that sounds very, very good. And one day I'd like to visit there and see what it's like for myself. But, of course, before we get there, of course, I'd just like to go through Narton Country Park in just a little bit as well, just after this. But, of course, welcome to Brandon Country Park, of course, at least 30 acres of managed parkland with a arboretum, haunted mausoleum, lawns and pond, historic walled garden, toddlers to teens playground, picnic areas and tea room, and miles of walking and cycle trails. Located in the vast Thetford Forest, Brandon lies in the very heart of the Brecks with wild landscape and dark forest. Sounds spooky very much on that one. Open heathlands and sandy soils and iconic belts of pine trees that straddle the Suffolk and Norfolk border. Now, of course, there is a history about the Brandon Country Park that I've got in front of me right now. So listen very, very carefully here. And a history is, of course, in the 19th century, Brandon was vitally important to the British Army because the bulk of the country's gun flints were manufactured here. In fact, Brandon flint was said to be the gold standard of all flint, guaranteed to spark on each shot. Local businessman Edward Bliss made his fortune supplying the army with flint during the Napoleonic Wars, and in the 1820s brought over 2,500 acres of the Brecks and created his estate. Today, Brandon Country Park occupies a small portion of the original land purchased by Bliss. Now, the tea room, let's talk about that. Enjoy morning coffee, breakfast, light lunches, and afternoon tea in the Copper Beach Tea Room. Of course, they bake and make as much as they can here at this particular park in the little kitchen that they have at the park, including vegetarian, gluten-free, and vegan options. Please call advance on 01842 810 185 with any special dietary requirements or queries, and they'll do their best to cater for your needs. And leaflets and information about the actual park are available and to be picked up by the actual tea room itself. So do check that out. The tea room is open every day except Christmas Eve, Christmas Day and Boxing Day. And I'll tell you the details of that right this minute. And of course the tea rooms, as I said, open, of course, Christmas Eve, except for Christmas Eve and Christmas Day and Boxing Day. Of course, April to October, 10 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. and November to March, and 10 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. And that is the tea room times. And of course, the Brandon Country Park is actually open from dawn to dusk each and every, of course, day. It doesn't give you a specific times of that. So, of course, the Redwood Trail and the Red Walk, which I haven't spoken about on the TikTok page or the live, they explore the Arboretum with their easy-going trail and a simple mile loop around the Arboretum. The Terran, a gentle walk on firm paths suitable for all, including pushchairs and all-terrain wheelchairs. Forest and the Heath Trail Purple Walk. Venture into a working forest within this, of course, or with this 3.5 mile circular route through their Arboretum and into the deeper, wilder Thetford forest. There is at least, with its acres of evergreen Scots pine plantations, areas of larch which drip needles onto paths and open glades. Terrain, a gentle walk on firm paths and soft forest tracks. And of course, Firecast Trail and Orange Walk. Of course, discover the deeper beauty of the forest and the open landscape of the heath. Over 5.5 miles of trail through the park and forest. Okay, and of course, venture along the winding woodland paths and forest tracks through the dense undergrowth and open glades, and explore the open landscape of Brandon Heath and its solitary birch trees and big open skies. And the terrain is a lengthy walk on a firm paths and soft forest tracks. Walking boots or wellies recommended, which can be muddy. Okay, and of course the tree trail into a world of majestic trees. As you learn about the trees from around the world on this 1 mile route, see Monterey pines and get close to the giant redwoods, the world's biggest trees. Feel its soft, spongy orange bark like the hair of a orangutan. Look up the monkey puzzles tangle of spiky branches and marvel at the magnificent blue atlas cedars. And the terrain, of course, a short walk from the firm paths and forest paths, suitable for all, including pushchairs and all terrain wheelchairs. And the Poacher's Cycle Trail, Blue Trail, get the heart pumping on a slightly bumpy ride suitable for all the family along the 5.75 miles shortcut available of well-marked wide paths, narrow tracks and undulating drives through the heart of Thetford Forest. And the terrain, firm paths, soft tracks and wild or wide forest drives. Some areas can be quite sandy. Okay, of course, and that is, of course, the summary of that one. And how to find Brandon Country Park. It's on Berry Road, B1106, Brandon, Suffolk, IP 27 OSU. Of course, Brandon Country Park is just south of Brandon, 5 miles from the A11. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, and at Elvedon, less than 30 minutes from Bury St Edmunds and under an hour from Norwich, Cambridge and Ipswich. And Brandon railway station is about 1.5 miles. That's 2.4 kilometres away. And there is a limited car parking and car parking charges that apply between, of course, 8 a.m. in the morning until 8 p.m. and car park charges and 12-month annual pass available online, westsuffolk.gov.uk/parking. And the number to ring for the park itself is 01284 757 088. That's 01284 757 088. Parks at westsuffolk.gov.uk. What's on westsuffolk.co.uk/parks, Brandon Country Park. Right, okay, that is, of course, the Brandon, of course, Country Park there. You can see, of course, a little bit of it right there. And can you see it? Of course, the writing that I just said, of course, discover the heart of the Brexit Brandon Country Park and explore a land of open heathland and, of course, green forest, wide horizons and fresh air. So there you go. There's a little bit of it there. Absolutely brilliant. I ask you just where else on the dial here. Thank you very much indeed for tuning in. We really do appreciate everyone's time of tuning in absolutely anywhere here. Of course, it is coming up to the half-hour mark here. Of course, we won't be playing any music in this show here. We will be doing a little bit more of Word for Today. But, of course, yeah, let's go back to Naughton Country Park, of course, which we were doing a little bit earlier, ladies and gentlemen. And, of course, I do need to explore that park myself. There's lots of different other parks in West Suffolk here. The Abbey Gardens, the Aspel Close Local Nature Reserve, and Brandon Country Park, East Ham Park, of course, of Haverhill, Hardwick Heath, and the Haverhill Recreation Ground, which is, of course, another park there. Maybe full of history as well. Naughton Park, which we'll talk about in just a moment. Weststow, as in West Stow Country Park and Anglo-Saxon Village, which is quite good. And, of course, West Suffolk Parks, open spaces and places to hire. It might tell you on the, of course, I would say, on the West Suffolk Council website. Abbey Gardens, Brandon Country Park, East Ham Park of Haverhill, George Lambton Playfields, which is, of course, connected to West Suffolk Council, Hardwick Heath and Haverhill Recreation Ground, Naughton Park, and Weststow Country Park. So, yeah, Naughton Park is one of many that I haven't got a leaflet of. I did have it, but I can't find it absolutely anywhere. But there you go, of course, with almost 200 acres of landscaped Suffolk countryside. There's something for everyone at Naughton Country Park in Bury St Edmunds. For sport enthusiasts, there are at least some football pitches, and of course you can keep the kids entertained there with a large play area and find out a little bit more about the park itself, events and activities and what goes on in the park itself. And of course you can do that by going to the Naughton Park, as in Naughton Country Park, Facebook page. Now, of course, the automatic opening and closing gates to the car park, and please note, of course, a 2.1 metre restriction barrier is due to be installed during March 2026. It might be up there already. I'll have to try and find out about that if I go to Naughton Country Park in Bury St Edmunds. And it's usually open daily from 8 a.m. in the morning and 9 p.m. from April to the end of August, and from September to the end of March from 8 a.m. till 6 p.m. And the cost is free to enjoy, but you'll need to pay for parking if you need it. Okay, you can get Uber taxis around the area, so be aware of that. You don't need to bring your own car. Get an Uber, which will only cost you no more than, of course, about £4 to £5 from the Bury St Edmunds Centre. But other taxis may vary on meter charges. So, yeah, Bury Road, Naughton, Bury St Edmunds, Suffolk, IP 29SLU. Okay, and of course it tells you a little bit about Naughton Country Park on the westsuffolk.gov.uk website here. So I've already read some of it on my TikTok page, so I'm just going to read you some of it here. We'll start with the Lime Avenue, of course, which is one of the finest examples in the UK and was planted around 1880 to give the estate a sense of grandeur. Of course, it was also provided the house, then Naughton Court, with a vista to the northern boundary. Unusually, it did not mark the main entrance route to the house. In spring, over at least 100,000 daffodils bloom beneath the trees. These were planted in 1989. The two species planted were actually King Alfred and Magnificent. Okay, we now talk about the maze here. You can actually lose yourself in this actual maze here. I need to check this out here. It is a shape of a stylized oak tree in commemoration of the Oaks family, who were the former estate owners. Okay, and of course, the maze is open from May to October every year and is south of the Naughton Country Park. And of course, yes, 2 kilometres from the main car park. There are at least 2,500 hornbeam trees that make up over 2 miles of hedging, maintained at a height of around 2 metres. Hornbeam is similar to beech and keeps its leaves through the winter. I was going to say somewhere there, but of course the winter. The centre of the maze is marked by a Fastigate oak with upright branches. Now, of course, the wildflower meadow, of course, is something that was found in 1990. The introduction of wildflowers like bird's foot trefoil has boosted the numbers of butterflies recorded at the actual park itself. Now, of course, if you're talking in terms of activities, ladies and gentlemen, here, seasonal events take place on a regular basis, and keep checking on the What's on West Suffolk for new events. And, of course, now we come to the facilities of Naughton Country Park. There is a cafe, of course, children's play area, all-weather pitches. To book pitches, of course, go to the Abbeycroft Leisure Centre of Bury St Edmunds. And, of course, that is to book football pitches if you're interested. And there is a picnic area and toilets. Now, of course, the cafe is managed by the Grounds Cafe, 01284 763 702. 01284 763 702. And, of course, the opening hours of the cafe is, of course, from February to October. And, of course, it's Monday to Friday, as usual, 9:30 a.m. till 5 p.m. And Saturdays, of course, it is different times. Of course, it's 8:30 a.m. till 5:30 p.m. in the evening. And, of course, from November to January, Monday to Friday, 9:30 a.m. till 4 p.m. And, of course, Saturday from 8:30 a.m. till 4:30 p.m. and Sunday 9 a.m. till 4:30 p.m. all the way from November to January. So yeah, I am quite surprised it's actually open all the way through the winter months. So I find that really, really interesting on that note here, that of course it's actually open from those times there. And of course, unlike Eastern Park in Haverhill, it sort of shuts and closes down, which is a bit of a shame really. Perhaps they have more dog walkers in the winter at Naughton Country Park than anywhere else in the actual country. But That's why it's open in the winter, maybe. I'm only just guessing that. So, of course, if you want a bench dedicated to a loved one, of course, it is available to purchase at Narnton Country Park. All dedication options are subject to availability and offered for a 10-year period in the first instance, starting from the date of installation, and include a plaque for your dedication. And of course, we remind people that, or West Suffolk Council remind people that dedications are ordered and installed twice a year in the spring and autumn. Please contact the Parks Department to be added to the waiting list. For prices, visit the Parks and Open Spaces fees and charges page. Events and group visits, of course, to host an event or hire the parks for a group visit, please visit West Suffolk Parks outdoor spaces and venues for more details. And there are park regulations, which is rules, basically, guidelines, of course, that may be of interest to anyone here that wants to go to Narnton Country Park in Beston Evans. Following the regulations are in place, or the following regulations are in place for your safety and to protect the environment, please abide by them. No golf or hardball games. No unauthorized vehicles. Do not pick the flowers. Do not disturb the wildlife. And dogs must be under control at all times. No dog fouling, no fires, no camping, no swimming or paddling. And pick up your litter, which is quite useful to know all that. So that's Narnton Country Park here. So, yeah, that is the end of the park talks for now. Of course, we will be talking about other ones at a later stage. So please do stay with the one you're on for that one. So, yeah, of course, I would like to thank everybody that has tuned into this show tonight, wherever you may be. And, of course, we've had 5 views in the channel here tonight, which has been absolutely marvellous here. We're nearly towards the 20-minute to go mark here. And if you've been watching on replay, as always, please do comment down below and leave us your feedback. Let us know what park you have visited, whether it's, of course, Brandon Country Park, Narnton Country Park, or Westow Country Park, or even Abbey Gardens, East Town Park, anywhere around the West Suffolk, or even your own country park in your area. We want to hear from you. If you've been to a country park in particular, even in Colchester area, we'd love to hear from Colchester people as well, in the Essex area as well. I know there's some lovely places of Saffron Walden I have not yet been to, and of course I'm slowly trying to get round to it, you know, but busy times. Oh, it's nice to have a soft drink now and again. But anyway, of course, yes. Thank you very much for taking your time for watching in here. We will do another word for today in just a little bit, but we're going to go to a video now. I'm going to try and get to this video here. And, of course, this video here is a footy video. Let's do this one here. It should come up on the screen here. So, yeah, we're going to cut to the camera here. And here we go. Hello and welcome to East Town Park. Please do speak, Julian.
Hello, good evening.
Yeah, can you shout a bit louder?
Good evening to everybody.
Hello and welcome to East Town Park, known as East Town Park, or Suffolk in East Anglia. Now, sorry, I had to turn the original sound down here just to comment along the way here. And it is me introducing you to, of course, a pilot video which was actually filmed in East Town Park, which I know as Feastown Park, and JC, of course, has got the microphone over there, so you should be able to hear him. If you can't, let me know, and we'll try and do our best to enhance his voice next time. I know I've got the loudest voice of the two here, probably the loudest voice in the world, but of course, yeah, I'm explaining here about the new pilot that we are hoping to do in terms of football when JC returns, because he has been away since we recorded this about a week ago. And of course, yes, you notice we've got the microphone fluffs on there. I've still currently lost my remote control, and hopefully, of course, we can all pray that it does return sometime. So, yeah, it's a bit of a shame. But there you go. Of course, it's now down over to this video here. You can hear a sample of it right now. And we're thinking about doing a brand new show. Whether we would do it in sunshine like this, because it's probably not going to be like this during the week next week. But, of course, we just picked a potluck sort of space, haven't we? And, of course, yeah, we've even got our wind fluffs today as well, just in case it does get a little bit windy. But there's no wind now. But, yeah, isn't that strange? But, of course, it might pick up, but, of course, no wind. Let's see if it actually does the trick. So, basically, of course, we're going to be talking, first of all, about the football of Paris Saint-Germain against Arsenal. So, how did you see that going? It was extraordinary. First of all, we had at least 300 people watching on TikTok. Because we were, of course, doing a commentary on it. So, you know, was it a good game, though, in your opinion?
Well, yes and no.
When you say yes and no, you know, do you think it was a penalty that Arsenal could have had?
Well, there's a debate around ball that went for them, so there's justice done there.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's zoom into you there.
In a way.
Yep. So it's justice done in that sort of thing that prevailed. So, so do you think, of course, Arsenal deserved to lose it, or do you think they weren't good enough?
Second best, I think.
You think they were second best? How would you rate the referee? Of course, I don't think many channels rate referees these days.
Well, it was rated as, in the paper a 6.
Yeah.
So I probably agree with that.
So you think it's about 6 for the referee because he came from Germany?
Yeah.
Can you remember what his name was?
Daniel Serbia or something.
Yeah. We was watching, of course, Daniel Fletcher on the other channel. But, of course, yeah, for whatever other opinions that the commentators have, of course, sometimes they can big mouth things, of course, they can jump in and say things, of course, and they can be, like, game changers. Isn't that right, Julian?
Yes, absolutely.
So, yeah, of course, when I say, of course, that kind of thing, of course, things can happen any time, couldn't they? But, yeah, for my free bet, it was unfortunate that Arsenal didn't get that extra goal, because they could have made my £2, of course, an extra £2 I could have had in my pocket. But, of course, it was only a free bet, so it doesn't matter, so I can't talk about it. But, of course, I don't encourage people to gamble. But, of course, it wasn't actually a gamble. It was a free bet online somewhere. I wouldn't say which company it was.
Flush.
It's just a free £1 build a bet kind of thing. You know, but, of course, it'd be nice to have people, of course, you know, been allowed to do free bets. You know, I don't know whether, of course, children would be allowed to do it. Are they intelligent enough?
No, that's over 18.
They've got to be over 18, have they?
Yeah, it's gambling, isn't it?
Oh, that's what it is. But, yeah, I suppose it, even if it's a free bet.
Yeah, it's sort of gambling, isn't it? Half gambling. It's encouraging it.
Yeah, maybe it is, but I mean, it's only a free bet, isn't it? But people can't give away money. That's it. If you did it, of course, on a practice note, you jotted it down, and that'd be a different thing altogether. But of course, they wouldn't do it publicly, I don't think. But anyway, of course, this pilot is not just about the football side of things. We will be talking about football, but of course, we will try and give it a variation here on Beauty Sound, which we hope we might be able to go live on. But, of course, we're hoping also to use a studio so we can actually, if it comes to the winter, we get a little bit cold outside, because nobody wants to go out in the cold in the UK in winter times. But, of course, it'd be nice to do that if we are well enough to do so, because, of course, weather can affect your illness. It can make people have runny noses and all that kind of thing. So you've got to try and stay well as best as you're able to. Of course, it's probably easier in the summertime, but of course, as long as it's not too hot. It is cooling down, by the way, I've just got to say, on temperature-wise. So I'm going to tell you the temperature now. I just nearly had a flinch there. I don't know where that came from. But why is Julian, of course, not facing the camera? You need to turn around a little
Because
bit.
I'm reading the map.
Oh, you're reading the map. Tell us about the map while we're...
Well, it's an East Anglian map.
Oh, is it an East Anglian map, is it?
Yeah.
So what does that entail then?
Well, I'm reading Norwich to Yarmouth.
Yeah, on how to get to Norwich to Yarmouth.
Well, I think
Don't
I
you
know?
know?
It, but I think I do. I like reading maps.
But you are heading to Norfolk tomorrow.
Well,
yeah. You're going to go Cambridge way, aren't you?
Yeah, weather permitting.
Have you ever thought of going to the Berry way?
No.
Because you are a bit frightened to do it, aren't you?
That's not that. You're just getting a ticket from there.
Absolutely, but I mean, yeah, are you going to be playing at the Great Yarmouth Minster?
Well, I don't know yet. We'll see what the weather's like.
Well, if you do, here, see if we can get some recordings of it.
Well, you won't be able to get any
Or
recording.
even an audio we do.
No, I don't think I'll be allowed to do that.
I think you can.
No, I can't.
No, but I mean, I thought you were playing.
No, I'm not playing.
Oh, somebody else is playing.
Well, if I go to a show, yeah.
I thought you was scheduled to play, but anyway.
No.
Yeah, but we're not going to say too much of which place you're going to be staying, just in case you do video it for whatever reason and take pictures. That'll do. And of course, yeah, maybe I can do a narration on top, but it depends on what your room looks like and all that kind of thing.
Well,
I can't really do too much because I don't really know, of course, what the atmosphere is like. So only you can do that, Julian. Anyway, whether it's slide or picture or video, it doesn't really matter as long as we get to see something anyway. For the touring with us. So you can face the camera now, Julian. Turn around a little bit. So yeah, we're going to go back onto the football now. Of course, Arnie a Slot. What do you make of the sacking?
Well, that was half planned, wasn't it?
Yeah, okay. The camera's over here, by the way, not over there. Yeah, yes. Go on.
All these things blowing around.
Yeah, so you're saying, of course, it was a kind of like expected.
Yeah, eventually.
Yeah, but I mean, did you think he would stay for another season?
I thought it might, but things change, don't they?
Yeah, I thought he should have gone a long time ago. That's my own opinion.
He should have gone, but there you go.
I didn't really particularly find him my favourite.
Yeah,
I would say.
Because you're not a supporter of it.
No. It's not that. I didn't think he was very interesting.
Yeah, but is it relevant to your team?
I thought Benitez was more funny and more entertaining. Maybe Klopp was a little bit more entertaining. I wasn't really fanatic about him, but I mean...
Well, you never fanatic about any manager.
Yeah. I'm not totally against Liverpool. I'm just,
well, you are.
Well, if they find a decent manager, yeah. But there's no such thing these days.
The manager might do it.
Well, let's see how it goes. The trouble is with that, Julian, he could become a manager of Liverpool, but he might not do the job that's required. That's the problem, isn't it? He might not do it. He might not be able to do it.
Well, see what it is.
It's a gamble, isn't it? Again,
everything's a gamble. I mean,
well, absolutely.
You've got to have a manager eventually.
So, yeah, just to sidetrack a little bit here, change the subject a little bit. I'm trying to look at the location weather, but I can't get an internet connection. Oh, actually, it's come up. Sunny today, but of course, up to the lights of 22 degrees today here in Haverhill, Suffolk here, a unique town of Suffolk, West Suffolk, 21 or 22, partly cloudy. Well, it's a little bit more than cloudy, it's sunny. So, yeah, Monday looks like 70% chance of rain, going up to actually going down a degrees, or 21 degrees, and Tuesday's looking 100% rain. Whether that's going to change, I don't know. I don't know what it's going to be like in Great Yarmouth. Of course, it's apparently going down to 18 degrees in Haverhill, starting at 13 degrees.
In Yarmouth Thursday.
Well, really? But of course, I don't think it will. It might do in the distance, but Great Yarmouth usually is quite a dry area, so of course, 9 times out of 10, you might spot a rain, might have a spot of rain. Sometimes you get a little bit of snow there, not very often though, but yeah, it's normally a dry place. Touch wood, and you have to keep an eye on that, Julian. But I did have a good sort of. I had a good sunshine day. It was a little bit stifling hot in some places. The only hot day was the day that I was coming back, unfortunately. But then it started going a little bit more hotter, so it can get really stifling hot in Great Yarmouth. Even in the room that I was actually in, I won't say which one it was, but of course the room number 4 that I had. Actually, it was quite stuffy, so you need to bring a fan with you if you can, or buy one in Great Yarmouth, to be honest with you. And Wednesday, it's in Haverhill, by the way. It's going to be about 50%. And, of course, 50% of rain.
Wind in Yarmouth.
Yeah. And 75% of rain on Thursday.
I hope it blows up in Yarmouth.
I hope it goes wrong to what the phone said as well. It's going down to apparently 17 degrees on Wednesday. All in Haverhill here. I'm getting tickled by this, by the way. By this little fluffy thing here. It feels like a lot of fluffy animal or something. But anyway, of course, Friday is apparently 55% chance of rain. And that will be going down to 17 degrees, starting from 10 degrees earlier in the day. That's on Friday. And Saturday, 9 degrees. It's going to be slightly cooler, but of course warming up to 20 degrees, 35% of rain. So, of course, it might brighten up by then. And Julian's trying to pack up here. We've been going for 11 minutes here. We might stay on for about another 10 minutes here, as this is only a pilot, by the way. And, of course, yeah, it can be edited, but I don't think there's much to edit around here because we're not really swearing, to be honest with you.
Okay.
But I just wanted to show you the scenes around here. This is a lovely area here of East Town Park. I think all the children have gone now. Have I scared them off? Normally there's dog walkers around in the park here, which is absolutely fantastic to see. I've seen two so far. Is that fantastic? Because it is a rarity to only have two. Because normally there's a lot of dog walkers around. Where are they? Where are the people? Of course, you need to get yourself down to East Town Park. It is a lovely adventure place to go to. I do promote each and every area that I can possibly do here. And, of course, next time I'll do a video of a different location, maybe in Cambridge. I might be spotted in Cambridge because I've got a camera here. And if anybody wants to be a guest on the show, even when I'm doing a video, they can come on the video and have their say about their own sort of town and city. Or village, depending on where we are. We could be in Clare, we could be in Cambridge, we could be in Papworth, could be in, of course, Grantchester or Godmanchester, Huntingham, St Neots. I've got lovely lots of places that we could secretly go, and of course there's lots of different secret places that we can film that nobody else dares to touch. I don't know if we can still hear Julian in the background, but hopefully you can hear him. Can you speak for a bit, Julian? Hello?
That's all right.
Yeah, I don't know if you can still hear you there. I don't know how far the microphones reach. We've got to make sure the microphones do stand out and they also can be heard. And you've got to charge them up each time as well. And we have got the fluffies on them in case there's any wind. And, of course, if there's any wind, it may pick up on the microphone. I'm not quite sure. It is, of course, Sunday the 31st of May 2026, by the way, and 14 minutes gone on our clock here. And, of course, yeah, the timestamp will be up on the screen here. And, of course, it does say the 31st of the 5th, 2026, and the right time, roughly speaking. I'm just going for my watch here. But, yeah, of course, what else can I say about the weather? I've got no connection here. Let's have a look. I need to have a look at Great Yarmouth. Is it going to come up of anything here? We haven't really got a good signal here. I've got to stress that, by the way. It's because simply I would say the signal has been absolutely awful on 4G. I don't know what's blocking the signal. I'm on giffgaff here, which is a lot cheaper than EE, but of course, sometimes you can get a signal on EE better than a giffgaff. I don't know what the reason behind all that. I don't know what's blocking it. Maybe it's something to do with the kiosk or the visitor centre, which is literally just behind me. I don't really know. So I can't really tell you on that note. So I've got no idea what that might be. So yeah, can anyone tell me here who knows about the area? Maybe I'll have a word with Michael Morgan, who actually, of course, works at the kiosk. A lovely gentleman. He wasn't here today. It was Bav today. But the lovely Bav, I only met her today, and of course, she did very, very well in serving customers today. They did get some customers, but of course, some people turned up too late. That's the problem. Okay, I just pause it there, and of course, yes, welcome in if you've just joined us here. I'm just going to whiz it on to a little bit of an area where I can safely go here without interfering with anyone. Sorry, I'm having to whiz back here. So there we go. If I can, here we go. Right. Okay. We're gonna have that as a background here. Don't worry about that other person there. You know, I'm just going to have that as a little bit of a nice little background. You can't go wrong than that, so that we can have a background song in the background. So here we go. Right, okay, of course. Now it's time for the word for today, for the final one here this evening. And of course, yeah, I'd like to thank everybody for watching this evening here for this live YouTube edition of the, of course, Touring with Nick C. and Topic Show Extra. Here's a good one here to finish up with. I'll just turn the music down for a little bit here so you can actually hear me. You might still be able to hear something. Okay. Are you ready? Of course, go on a complaining fast. Not as in what you think here. And, of course, the subheadline is do not complain. Okay, whatever you keep it doing becomes a habit. That's why James says this: do not complain. Author John Gordon says a complaining fast won't just make everyone around you happier, you'll experience more joy, peace, success and positive relationships. Okay, a complaining fast. Okay, which you obviously do for the opposite reasons. So instead of complaining when things actually go wrong, number one, practice gratitude. Giving thanks to 3 blessings each day energizes you and makes you feel more happier. It's impossible to be grateful and negative at the same time. And number 2, encourage others. Instead of complaining about what people do wrong, focus on what they're doing right. Encourage the people who are afraid. Help those who are weak. Be patient with everyone. It's okay to criticize people's weaknesses as long as you balance it with 3 times more praise. And number 3, focus on your success. Start a success journal. Every night before you go to bed, write down something great about your day. It could be an uplifting conversation or an accomplishment you're proud of. There's truth to, and the old saying, nothing succeeds like success. When you focus on success, you set the stage for more to follow. And number 4, learn to let go. Instead of obsessing about what you cannot change, focus on what you can influence. When you stop trying to control everything and place your life in God's hands, things have a way of working out. Okay, and we'll continue the music here. And number 5, use the power of prayer. Paul says, pray in the spirit on all occasions with all kinds of prayers and requests. Prayer reduces stress, boosts positive energy, and promotes health. When you're under pressure, instead of complaining, plug in to God's power and recharge your batteries. And that's the end of the Go On a Complaint fast. Actually, a complaining fast. And the subheadline is "Do Not Complain." So yeah, it's a very good structure there. Of course, not complaining about anything here, and of course those kind of things there really set the tone on that, doesn't it? And learn to let go. A lot of people are kind of trying to control everyone, and of course, instead of obsessing on what you cannot change, focus on what can influence. As in what you can influence. And when you stop trying to control everything and place your life in God's hands, things have a way of working out. So yeah, exactly. So of course, to those who think they can control people, don't do it. So yeah, try and think of a way out of that. I think it's very much strong advice on that one. Try to praise someone about, does it say 3 times? 3 times more praise. It's okay to criticise people's weaknesses as long as you balance it with 3 times more praise. Focus on your success. Start a success journal. And every night before you go to bed, write something down which is something great about your day, which I find that really very fascinating. Something great about your day. I wonder how many people listening to this right now can actually do that. Maybe I can try doing that. Something great about your day. Okay, and maybe we'll talk about that on another show. That would be absolutely brilliant. Okay, we're going to leave that racing for your mind. Thank you very, very much indeed, everybody that has tuned in. And you have been seeing the pictures from, of course, East Town Park and the voice of Nick C here. And, you know, I haven't got a picture to say, say about my lovely face. But, of course, I am the face behind the voice. So, yeah, I haven't got a picture to wave to you by. So, of course, yeah, I haven't even got a video to wave to you. But you'll see me on other videos anyway. But catch me on TikTok and, of course, this channel, Touring with Nick C. Say It Out Loud channels as well. Either TikTok or YouTube, and occasionally on X, formerly known as Twitter. People still call it Twitter these days. I don't know why. Perhaps they're used to the old version, but not the Elon Musk version. They must get used to it, and the more people get used to it, the better. Anyway, of course, that is another thing altogether. Love to go to Nowton Country Park at some point, which is another part of West Suffolk Council's beautiful parks. So, yeah, we've got, of course, the Brandon Country Park, which I haven't yet visited. Abbey Gardens, which is run by West Suffolk Council also. East Town Park and Harwick Park, I think it is. And Westow Country Park. Those 3 I have not yet been to. Nowton Country Park is on my list. I don't know about Westow Country Park. Some of them are quite tricky to get to. And Brandon Country Park, no, I haven't been there either. Do let me know in the comments if you've been to any of those parks. We'd love to hear from you. But as always that I say, because we are on overtime now, thank you very much indeed for watching. And we promise to keep that positivity for you. Till next time, take care of yourselves and most importantly each other. And we'll be back before you can say the words, I'm back already. Till next time, take care. Peace out and God bless. See you all later. Bye.